guys, I'm Becky from Book Bite Reviews, and welcome to Top 10 Tuesday. Top 10 Tuesday is a blog post series hosted by the Artsy Reader Girl, and I participate whenever I like the topic that week, basically. Today's topic is the top 10 books that you have loved that have gotten under 2,000 ratings on Goodreads. I really love this topic because for those books that do have under 2,000 ratings, it really mostly is either indie books or books that have been published by small publishing houses. So these are all books that are like such little undiscovered gems that I am so excited to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to be showing these in the order from the oldest book that I have read to my most recent, and honestly, these are all amazing books. Obviously, I give them all 5 stars. I'm just so excited to share these with you guys. I hope that you end up picking them up. So my very first book that I will be talking about, and it is the oldest book that I have read in the pile, is An Apple For Zoey by Thomas Mo. Now, this book I did randomly come across on Amazon one day. I absolutely love the cover. Let me show it to you up close. It is pretty glossy, so hopefully you can kind of see. I randomly saw this cover on my Amazon recommended for you list, and I decided to go ahead and purchase a copy, and I absolutely loved it. This book is under 300 pages, so it is a pretty quick read. The author, Thomas Mo, saw my review and actually got into contact with me. He sent me this signed copy, and it's just so special to me. I have actually met Thomas and his wife, and they are just such cool, awesome people. This is the first book in what is hopefully at least a duology. Unfortunately, Thomas has yet to release the second book, which this one came out, I believe, in 2011, I want to say. So I don't know if we're ever going to get a second book, which is fine. I have harassed him enough, I feel. So if it comes out, awesome, I will read it. If not, that's okay too. But this book follows a detective in the city of San Francisco. It is an adult book. I do want to put that out there because it does get pretty dark and graphic. This is an adult book. A series of occult murders have happened, and he is now on the case trying to figure out what is going on. It definitely took a turn where I didn't expect it to go. It is very graphic, very dark, and pretty terrifying when I read it, which I read it back in 2011. It is one of the first books that I read in the adult genre that made me go ahead and give the adult side a second chance and check out some more books from over there, because usually I only stick with YA, but this book is really good. But again, I cannot stress it enough. It is dark and graphic, so just go in being prepared. The next book that I'm going to talk about is The Chill Date. This is a mother-son duo who wrote this series. It is a duology, and it is a YA paranormal. So in this book, we follow our main character, Kat Colvin, and she is pretty much your typical run-of-the-mill teenager who is trying to deal with high school and growing up and everything else that comes with being a teenager. But now she has also found out that she is a chill day, which basically, to kind of like put it in layman's terms, is somebody who can shapeshift. It is also a coming of age story as well, and I just really enjoyed this. This is a different kind of paranormal, and it is pretty heavy on the romance and coming of age aspects, so just know that I loved it. The next book that I'm going to talk about is actually a short story that is in a series, and I'm pretty sure that I gave all of the books in the series 5 stars, but the one that I have physically is the short story, and that is Dark Beauty by Taryn Browning. The series, I believe, is called the Seeker series, and this series follows a girl who is basically a monster hunter. I believe that she only hunts and destroys those who are undead. So I don't think it's vampires or zombies. I think it's like this whole new creature. It has been quite a while since I have read the series, but I absolutely loved it and devoured it. I am so into monster hunters and paranormal bounty hunters. I'm just so interested in that topic. Again, this series does play pretty heavily into the romance aspect as well, which I personally love, but I have read some reviews, not necessarily about this series, but other series that are heavy in romance, that it's something that people don't like. I think you guys are crazy, but I personally love a good romance in every single book that I read. So, well, maybe not every single one, but most. I do love romance most of the time. Next up is the Ridge Peck series by Sarah Daly and Stacey Weber. These books, I do not remember exactly how I came across them. I know the first book I did end up giving 4 stars, and I have read books 2 and 3. There are 4 books total. 2 and 3 I gave 5 stars, and I still need to read book 4, because as you know, I'm terrible with finishing series. So this one is a YA werewolf story, and it is so good. I absolutely love the writing style of Sarah Daly and Stacey Weber. They work so well together, and I just absolutely devour these books. Each book follows a different character, and then we see all the characters kind of in the background from the previous books. They are so good, and I highly recommend this, especially if you love paranormal. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Rem by Cheryl Abbott. This book is about a girl who can jump into the dreams of others. So while you sleep at night, she has the ability to jump into your dream and see what is going on in your head. It has always been more of a curse than a blessing to her. And again, it has been quite a while since I read this one, but I'm pretty sure something happens where she jumps into, I think, a boy's dream, and I think finds something out that's going to happen or something, so she has to protect him. I'm not positive, but I just remember that this was the first dream jumper paranormal that I ever read, and I just absolutely loved it. I think it's such a interesting and unique topic. There are quite a few dream jumper kind of books out now, but before, this was the very first one that I found, and I just absolutely loved it. Next up is the Ivy Granger series by E.J. Stevens. This series I absolutely love. It is a adult urban fantasy series, and it is so good. So we follow Ivy Granger. She is a private eye for the paranormal and also the non-paranormal. So by day, she is a human, everyday, normal person who finds lost things and lost people for humans. And then at night, she also finds lost things and lost people for the Fae. I'm just so in love with the Ivy Granger series. It is so good, and again, another adult series that has made me go ahead and give adult books another chance. So in this series, I don't think that I really fully started to just absolutely die hard love the series until book 3. That is the first book in the series that I did give 5 stars. By book 3 is really when we start to really truly care not only about Ivy, but all the secondary characters that are in the books. So by book 3, you're super invested in Ivy, but then you're super invested in like her best friend Jinx and things like that. So book 3 is when I'm just totally giving 5 stars. I think I've given 5 stars from here on out after book 3. It is such a good series, and I kind of like base all other fantasy and fae books on the things that I learn in the Ivy Granger series. So it's funny to read this where fairies are not nice and romantic. They are actually very dangerous and scary, and then read a YA fae book that is like, they're beautiful and amazing. It's like, no, they're not. That's an unseelie fairy, okay? He's gonna kill you. The next book I'm going to talk about is The Epic Adventures of Lydia Bennet, and this was written by Kate Rorick and Rachel Kiley. So this is the second book. Book 1 is The Secret Diary of Lizzie Bennet, and they are both based off of the huge hit web series, The Lizzie Bennet Diaries, which I have not watched still, and I absolutely loved these books. This is basically what they did was a modern day Pride and Prejudice retelling from Lizzie's point of view, and they did it in a webcast kind of series, and then after that they came out with 2 books. The first one is really great. I personally have never read the original classic version of Pride and Prejudice. I've only watched the movies and read retellings, and I absolutely love them. It is a goal this year to finally read the original Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This book really gave me an appreciation for Lydia. Lydia has always been my definite least favorite character. Like, I hated Lydia. I think well, not still. I thought that she was very juvenile. That is how she's always portrayed, as this just idiot kind of girl who is seeking attention and does dumb things in order to get attention and gets herself in trouble, and her family has to save her. And I just never liked that portrayal, and I never liked her character, but this book has actually turned me around, and now I kind of understand where she was coming from and why she did the things that she did. I think this book really gives a good rep to Lydia and kind of changes the way that I think about her now. The next book I'm talking about is Blossom and the Beast by Aras McCoy. This series is a total of 4 books. I have read 3 of them. I do not want to read the 4th book. I want to because I want to know what happens, but it's the very last one, and that just kills me. So this is a fairy tale retelling series, and it is also a YA paranormal fantasy type of book as well. In each book, we follow a new set of characters who were side characters in the book previous, and then the ones who were in the main characters in the previous one are then side characters in the next one. I think you understand what I'm saying. So the very first one follows Blossom, and I don't know like how much to really say about it because I don't want to spoil anything, but basically the first one is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. They are so good. There is just craziness going on. It has paranormal, it has fantasy, it has politics, it has contemporary, it has all of the things that you would want in a book, and they're just amazing. I just need to know what is going to happen to Blossom. I just need to know. Next up is Aftermath by Clara Kenzie. This is a YA, I don't even know how to classify this. I guess like a contemporary, but also kind of a mystery. It's very dark. We will say that. So we follow our main character, Charlotte, who has been kidnapped 4 years ago, and she finally has a chance to escape her captor and has come home. But the home that she has come to is not the same home that she left. Her parents are now divorced. Her mom has completely had basically a mental breakdown. Her sister is a drug addict. Her father is a complete fame whore, and everything is just very different. And we follow Charlotte as she tries to piece her life back together, slowly tell us everything that happened to her while she was kidnapped. And she's also on a mission to find out who the previous girl before her was. So her captor did tell her that there was a girl before her, and she is not sure whether or not she's alive or dead. She's pretty sure that she is dead, and she wants to find out who this girl is and give her family some comfort. So yes, this book is not very long at all, and it's just so amazing, so heartbreaking. This topic of kidnap survivors is just so incredibly amazing and powerful and dark, and I just devour it. Like, it's just so crazy good. And this one was no exception. Again, another amazing book, another book to throw me down this dark hole of darker topics. But just know that there probably, it's been a little bit, but I'm pretty sure there are trigger warnings for kidnapping, sexual assault, physical abuse, emotional abuse, all the triggers. This has all the triggers, okay? So it is a very dark topic book. It does not gloss over too many things. It really does go in depth of the trauma that this girl survived. So just know that, but it is amazing, you guys. And the very last book that I am going to be mentioning and talking about today, my 10th book, is The Ghost Host Episode 1 by Delshiri Gladden. And holy cow, it was so good. Basically, this book is told in, I'm pretty sure for the most part, it is told in web series format. So we have these characters who do a web series. It's basically like iCarly for ghosts, and I think that's kind of how it was also marketed towards me. And I used to love iCarly. I thought it was so good. And this book is basically that. We have 3 main characters, 2 girls and a guy who does all the technical stuff. I'm pretty sure what they do is, I think it's kind of, I can't remember if it's a hoax or not. Our main character can see ghosts, but I think she like pretends for the most part until it turns out to be real that she really can. I don't know. I'm so sad that I can't remember exactly what this book is about, but I do know that it was so amazing. I devoured it and I was like, I have to read more. So I did recently purchase episode 2 that I need to read next, and I cannot wait. I think it's funny that like all of them were pretty much paranormal books, but that's my favorite genre, so not surprising. Okay guys, that is everything that I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed it. Definitely let me know in the comments if you have read any of these or if you plan on reading any of them. So thank you again for watching this video. If you liked it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and also hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified as soon as they go up, also go ahead and hit that notification bell. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!